Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of guarding your heart, your dreams, and your inner thoughts. In a world that constantly encourages us to share every detail of our lives, there's wisdom in stepping back and holding some things close. Not everyone who listens to your story is rooting for you. Some people may not understand your journey, while others might project their doubts or insecurities onto you. When you share too much, you give others the chance to influence what should remain untouched by external opinions, your vision, your goals, your peace. There's power in mystery. Think about a seed planted deep in the soil. It doesn't grow because everyone watches and applauds. It grows quietly, shielded from prying eyes. It takes its time, nurtures itself, and when the time is right, blossoms for all to see. Your life works in the same way. Some of your greatest breakthroughs happen in the silence when you're not looking for validation or approval. This doesn't mean you shut everyone out. It means you choose carefully. Share your dreams with those who will nurture them, not those who might sabotage them. Be wise in your discernment, just as you wouldn't hand your most precious possessions to strangers. Don't hand out your vulnerabilities or aspirations to people who haven't earned that trust. Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're gates. You decide who comes in and how far they go. Healthy boundaries don't just protect you, they teach others how to treat you. When you keep parts of yourself private, you preserve energy that can be channeled into meaningful actions. Instead of explaining every step of your journey, use that energy to keep moving forward. Let your results speak for you. The people who truly care for you won't need a full explanation of your every move. They'll respect your need for privacy and trust your process. So I encourage you today, protect your peace, value your journey, and share wisely. Your growth doesn't need an audience. It just needs you. Keeping certain aspects of your life private is a practice that holds immense power. It's a subtle yet transformative principle that allows you to take control of your personal narrative and maintain the integrity of your journey. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, and many are quick to post every milestone, step back and thought on social media, embracing the value of mystery can set you apart in a way that is both empowering and liberating. When you choose to hold certain things back, you create an aura of intrigue. People naturally become curious about what they cannot immediately see or understand. It's human nature to want to fill in the blanks, but when you leave those spaces unspoken, you remain in control of the story. By not revealing everything, you give yourself the room to define who you are on your own terms. You set the boundaries for how much of your life others can interpret or critique. The less you share, the less you expose yourself to unnecessary scrutiny. Every word you say or decision you share publicly becomes a potential target for criticism or misjudgment. While feedback can be helpful, unsolicited opinions from people who don't fully understand your perspective or your journey can be more of a hindrance than a help. When you keep certain details private, you protect yourself from the noise of other people's opinions. You retain the power to make decisions based on your values rather than being swayed by external influences. Privacy also allows you to focus on what truly matters. When you're not preoccupied with sharing every detail of your life, you have more time and energy to invest in personal growth, relationships, and achieving your goals. Consider how much effort it takes to explain your plans, justify your actions, or share every small success. That energy could be better spent refining your craft, learning new skills, or deepening connections with the people who genuinely matter to you. Keeping things to yourself doesn't mean you're being secretive or aloof. It means you're being selective. This selectivity shows maturity and wisdom. It means you understand that not everyone who listens to you has your best interests at heart. Some may listen to your dreams only to undermine them. Others may take your vulnerabilities and use them against you. By maintaining a level of mystery, you safeguard your aspirations and protect your emotional well-being. It's also important to acknowledge that mystery fosters respect. When you don't reveal everything about yourself, people are more likely to value what you do share. They see your words and actions as intentional rather than impulsive. This doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself or shut people out completely. Instead, it means you share thoughtfully, offering glimpses of your journey to those who have earned your trust and respect. Another advantage of embracing mystery is that it encourages authenticity. When you don't feel pressured to constantly update others about your life, you're free to be yourself without fear of judgment. You can experiment, make mistakes, and grow in private, which often leads to deeper and more meaningful personal development. This space for quiet self-discovery allows you to emerge stronger, more confident, and more authentic in your interactions with others. It's worth noting that privacy doesn't just benefit you, it can also strengthen your relationships. By holding back certain details, you create opportunities for meaningful conversations with those who truly care about you. Instead of offering surface-level updates to everyone, you can have deeper, more intimate discussions with the people who matter most. These connections are far more fulfilling than the fleeting validation that comes from sharing broadly with acquaintances or strangers. Think about some of the most influential people in history. Often their power wasn't just in what they said or did, but in what they chose not to share. Their ability to remain composed, maintain focus, and keep their plans private until the right moment often played a significant role in their success. You too have the ability to harness that power by being intentional about what you share and with whom. When you embrace the value of mystery, you take back control over your life. You step away from the noise and distractions that come from seeking external validation, and you learn to trust yourself. You realize that your worth isn't defined by how much you share, how many people applaud you. It's defined by your ability to stay true to yourself and pursue your goals with clarity and purpose. In the end, keeping parts of your life private isn't about being distant or closed off. It's about creating space for yourself to grow, thrive, and protect what matters most. By doing so, you not only preserve your peace of mind, but also lay the foundation for a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. Guarding your heart is one of the most profound and essential principles for living a balanced, peaceful, and fulfilling life. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and varying opinions, learning to protect your emotional and mental well-being is not just a suggestion, it's a necessity. Your heart is the core of who you are, encompassing your dreams, emotions, values, and deepest vulnerabilities. It's a sacred space, and not everyone deserves access to it. The truth is, not everyone you meet will have the capacity to understand, nurture, or respect your heart. Some people might unintentionally hurt you because they don't understand your journey or perspective. Others might act with harmful intent, using your openness or vulnerabilities to their advantage. That's why being selective about what you share and with whom you share it is an act of wisdom, not selfishness. When you guard your heart, you're not shutting people out. Instead, you're choosing to protect the parts of yourself that are most precious. You're setting boundaries that ensure your emotional energy is directed toward relationships and situations that add value to your life rather than depleting it. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow you to decide who gets close to you and how far they can go. This discernment is a sign of self-respect and emotional maturity. Consider this: your heart is like a garden. In this garden are your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, along with your fears and vulnerabilities. Just as you wouldn't let anyone trample through a physical garden, you shouldn't allow just anyone to trample through your emotional one. It takes effort, care, and time to cultivate a flourishing garden. Allowing the wrong influences, whether they're negative attitudes, toxic relationships, or dismissive words, can damage the work we've worked so hard to achieve. It's important to recognize that not everyone will value what you value. When you share deeply personal aspects of yourself with someone who doesn't have the same level of care or understanding, you open yourself up to disappointment, hurt, and even betrayal. This doesn't mean you should never trust anyone, but rather that trust should be built intentionally and over time. True trust isn't given, it's earned. Guarding your heart also means being mindful of the words you allow into your life. Words have the power to uplift or to wound, and the opinions of others can shape how you see yourself if you're not careful. If you let every criticism or harsh remark take root in your heart, you'll find yourself weighed down by doubt and insecurity. But when you guard your heart, you develop the ability to discern which words are worth holding on to and which ones need to be released. Not every opinion deserves a place in your heart, and not every voice deserves your attention. Another key aspect of guarding your heart is maintaining a sense of self-awareness. When you know who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed, it becomes easier to protect your heart from outside influences. Self-awareness allows you to recognize when a situation, relationship, or interaction isn't aligned with your values or purpose. It helps you make decisions that prioritize your well-being and keep you on a path of growth. Guarding your heart doesn't mean avoiding vulnerability altogether. Vulnerability, when shared in the right context with the right people, is a strength, not a weakness. It's how we build deep, meaningful connections. But vulnerability should be given intentionally, not recklessly. When you guard your heart, you learn to be vulnerable with those who have shown themselves to be trustworthy, empathetic, and supportive. These are the people who will protect your heart rather than exploit it. It's also worth noting that guarding your heart is not a one-time action, it's an ongoing practice. Life is constantly changing, and so are the people around you. Some relationships will grow stronger over time, while others may drift apart. By regularly evaluating who and what you allow into your heart, you ensure that your emotional space remains healthy and nurturing. Guarding your heart is about prioritizing your well-being. It's about recognizing that your peace, joy, and dreams are worth protecting. It's not selfish to put yourself first. In this way, it's necessary. When you take care of your heart, you're better equipped to show up for others, to pursue your goals, and to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. So choose carefully who you let into your heart. Be mindful of the words and influences you allow to shape your emotions and thoughts. And remember, protecting your heart isn't about building walls. It's about creating boundaries that foster growth, love, and strength. When you guard your heart, you don't just protect yourself, you empower yourself to thrive. Wisdom and discernment is one of the most valuable assets you can cultivate in your life. It allows you to make informed decisions, protect your peace, and maintain a sense of control over the narrative of your life. Discernment is the ability to judge well, to differentiate between what is right and wrong, what aligns with your values and what does not. It's about knowing who to trust, who to share your personal journey with, and how much of yourself you should reveal to others. In a world where everyone has an opinion and information flows endlessly from all directions, the ability to discern what is worth paying attention to and what needs to be ignored is crucial. Without discernment, you risk becoming overwhelmed by external influences and losing your sense of direction. Your life can easily be steered off course by the noise and distractions around you, which is why honing your ability to discern is essential to your growth and success. The foundation of discernment begins with self-awareness. When you know yourself, your values, your goals, your strengths, and your weaknesses, you are better equipped to evaluate what and who you allow into your life. Without self-awareness, it's easy to be influenced by others who may not share your vision or who might steer you in a direction that's not aligned with your authentic self. Understanding your own heart and mind allows you to filter out advice, opinions, or actions that don't serve your greater purpose. Discernment also enables you to recognize the intentions of others. Not everyone who approaches you with advice, friendship, or support has poor intentions. Some may offer their opinions to manipulate or control you, while others may have a more selfish agenda. By developing discernment, you learn how to read people and situations, which helps you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and confidence. It's about being able to sense when someone's words don't align with their actions or when they're giving you advice that isn't in your best interest. Discernment allows you to protect yourself from negative influences. Not everyone in your circle will have your best interests at heart. While some may truly care for you, others may not understand your path or may feel threatened by your progress. It's important to be able to recognize these dynamics and manage choices accordingly. For example, there are relationships that can drain your energy, whether emotionally, mentally, or even physically. By exercising discernment, you can decide when it's time to distance yourself from these draining situations or people. Discernment helps you recognize when something is simply not the right fit for you, whether it's a job, a business opportunity, or even a lifestyle choice. It's easy to be swayed by external pressures such as societal expectations or the opinions of others into pursuing things that don't truly resonate with you. However, by being discerning, you can make choices based on what aligns with your values and your long-term vision, rather than being influenced by fleeting trends or others' projections. One of the key aspects of discernment is understanding that not everyone is entitled to the same level of access to your life. In a world that often demands openness and transparency, discernment teaches you that privacy is a right, not a weakness. You get to choose how much of yourself you reveal to others and to whom you reveal it. Not everyone has the emotional maturity or wisdom to handle your vulnerabilities. When you exercise discernment, you learn that your inner world deserves respect and you don't need to share everything with everyone. It's also important to recognize that discernment doesn't come from a place of judgment or cynicism, but from a place of wisdom and self-respect. It's about understanding that not every situation or person is right for you, and that's okay. Discernment gives you the clarity to make choices that protect your peace and nurture your growth. It allows you to say no to things that drain your energy and yes to opportunities that help you move forward. Another critical element of discernment is the ability to listen to your intuition. Your inner voice, the quiet wisdom that guides you, is often your most reliable source of discernment. While the world around you may be noisy, your intuition speaks in a soft and steady voice, guiding you toward what's best for you. It may not always make logical sense, but it is often right. Learning to trust and follow that inner wisdom can help you avoid the pitfalls of overthinking and overanalyzing, leading you to make decisions that feel aligned with your true self. Discernment is an ongoing process. It's not something you achieve once and forget about. It requires constant self-reflection and attention. As you grow and evolve, so does your ability to discern. New experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities will all test your ability to evaluate, decide wisely. Over time, as you sharpen this skill, you'll find that you're able to navigate the complexities of life with more grace, confidence, and clarity. Discernment is the practice of tuning in to what matters most to you and letting go of what doesn't. It's about making choices that serve your highest good, maintaining your integrity, and protecting your peace. When you develop the ability to discern wisely, you set yourself up for success both in your personal growth and in your relationships with others. By guarding your heart and mind with discernment, you position yourself to lead a life that is aligned with your deepest values and true potential. The value of quiet growth is often underestimated in a world that celebrates loud achievements and public recognition. We live in a time where everyone seems to want to announce every success, share every step of their journey, and gather applause along the way. However, there's an undeniable power in progressing in silence, where the focus is not on external validation, but on internal development. Quiet growth allows you to cultivate resilience, skill, and wisdom without the distractions of external opinions or expectations. When you grow quietly, you preserve the integrity of your process. The beauty of personal development often lies in the gradual, unseen transformation that occurs within. Think about a seed sprouting in the ground. It doesn't need an audience to flourish. It doesn't need anyone's approval to push through the soil. It simply grows at its own pace, undisturbed by the outside world. In the same way, your personal growth can be much more profound when it is nurtured in private. The pressure to impress others or to validate your journey can impede genuine progress. When you grow quietly, you give yourself the freedom to experiment, make mistakes, and learn without the weight of external judgment. The world is quick to praise or criticize, and when you share every detail of your journey, you expose yourself to a constant flow of opinions. The more you reveal about your aspirations, plans, and progress, the more you open yourself up to both praise and criticism. Praise can be uplifting, but it can also make you dependent on external validation. Criticism, on the other hand, causes self-doubt and make you question your abilities. When you choose quiet growth, you protect yourself from both extremes. You learn to validate yourself internally, measuring your progress against your own standards rather than the expectations of others. This internal focus nurtures confidence and self-assurance, qualities that are essential for long-term success. Quiet growth also allows you to focus on the process rather than the outcome. In a society that often emphasizes results over effort, it can be easy to lose sight of the journey. However, true growth happens in the day-to-day actions, the small decisions, and the consistent effort you put into your goals. When you're not concerned with how others perceive your progress, you can fully engage in the process of becoming the best version of yourself. This deeper engagement with the journey itself allows you to learn more, to refine your skills, and to build a foundation that can withstand the test of time. Another important benefit of quiet growth is that it allows you to remain focused on what truly matters. The distractions of comparison and competition can cloud your judgment and divert your energy. When you're constantly comparing your progress to others, you may lose sight of your unique path. Quiet growth helps you maintain clarity and focus on your own goals and aspirations without the interference of what others are doing. It creates a space where you can develop your talents at your own pace and on your own terms. You're no longer swayed by the need to keep up or the desire to be recognized. Instead, you're focused on the things that truly align with your purpose and vision. When you keep your growth journey to yourself, you don't seek attention or accolades. You learn to take pride in the progress that happens behind the scenes, the hard work, the sacrifices, the late nights, and the quiet determination. This humility helps you remain grounded and centered regardless of any future successes or achievements. It also allows you to approach your growth with a mindset of service rather than ego. The less you focus on impressing others, the more you can focus on improving yourself for your own benefit and for the benefit of those around you. One of the most important aspects of quiet growth is that it cultivates patience. Growth, whether personal, professional, or emotional, doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, steady process that takes time. In a world that values instant gratification, quiet growth teaches you the virtue of patience. It teaches you to trust the process and to believe that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. When you're not seeking immediate results or external recognition, you can take the time you need to truly grow, learn, and develop. Quiet growth also helps you build resilience. As you work on yourself in private, you encounter challenges and setbacks that don't need to be shared with the world. These challenges teach you to persevere, to stay committed, and to keep moving forward even when no one is watching. The lessons learned during these quiet moments of struggle are often the most powerful and transformative. They build strength, character, and the ability to handle future obstacles with grace and confidence. Quiet growth gives you the space to evolve without the pressure to meet anyone else's expectations. It allows you to embrace your unique path and to develop at your own pace. When you grow quietly, you take ownership of your journey. You trust that the work you're doing is enough and that your progress will be evident when the time is right. You don't need external validation to know that you're moving in the right direction. In a world that often demands visibility, there is a deep wisdom in choosing quiet growth. It allows you to develop your skills, your character, and your vision without the constant noise of the outside world. It's in these moments of quiet development that the most profound transformations take place. And when you're ready to share the results of your growth, they will speak for themselves. Oversharing can be one of the most dangerous habits, especially when it comes to your personal life, dreams, and aspirations. While it may feel natural to open up to others or seek validation, the reality is that when you share too much, you expose yourself to potential misunderstandings, judgment, or even manipulation. The act of revealing too many personal details can make it harder for others to understand your true intentions, often leading to misinterpretations or misjudgments. In some cases, people might take your vulnerabilities and twist them in ways that you never intended, ultimately creating more harm than good. When you share too much of yourself with others, you can become vulnerable to criticism or unsolicited advice, even from people who might not have the knowledge or insight to truly help you. It's natural for others to have their own perspectives and opinions, but when you constantly allow them to weigh in on your life decisions, you risk losing your own sense of direction. These external voices can drown out your inner wisdom and confidence, leaving you second-guessing your choices and doubting your own judgment. This can lead to a lack of clarity and a feeling of being overwhelmed, as you may no longer know whose opinion truly matters or what path is truly right for you. Oversharing can also create confusion and chaos within your own mind. The more you share, the more you open yourself up to outside influences, and the harder it becomes to distinguish between your own thoughts and those of others. When you're constantly seeking approval or validation from others, it becomes easy to lose sight of your true goals and desires. The opinions of others may cloud your ability to make independent decisions, leaving you uncertain and directionless. The more you share, the more others become involved in your life, and the more their views and judgments become entwined with your own thoughts and feelings. When you overshare, you open the door for people to judge your intentions, your character, and your actions. Not everyone who listens to you will have your best interests at heart. In fact, some may take advantage of your openness, using the information you provide to manipulate or control you. They may take your vulnerabilities and use them as ammunition, whether to undermine your confidence, spread gossip, or gain a sense of power over you. These people may pretend to be supportive or sympathetic, but in reality, they may be more interested in exploiting your weaknesses for their own benefit. Another significant drawback of oversharing is that it can lead to unnecessary stress and emotional exhaustion. When you constantly share every aspect of your life, whether it's your personal challenges, your dreams, or your daily struggles, you can end up feeling drained by the constant need to explain yourself or justify your actions. This exhaustion can prevent you from fully engaging with your own journey or focusing on the things that truly matter. The more you share, the more pressure you feel to keep others informed, to update them on every change or decision you make. This can lead to a constant cycle of seeking approval, constantly trying to manage how others perceive you, and trying to meet their expectations rather than your own. When you overshare, you also risk compromising your sense of privacy and personal boundaries. Everyone has the right to maintain some level of privacy and to protect certain aspects of their lives from public scrutiny. Sharing too much too soon can lead to blurred lines in your relationships, where others feel entitled to information that may not be theirs to know. This intrusion can strain relationships as people begin to expect more from you than you are comfortable giving. It's important to recognize that your personal life, your challenges, and your dreams are yours to share on your terms, not dictated by the expectations of others. When you choose to keep certain things private, you not only protect your emotional and mental well-being, but you also preserve your sense of autonomy and independence. There's power in maintaining your privacy as it allows you to hold on to your personal identity and control how much you reveal. The more you keep to yourself, the more you allow space for introspection and self-reflection. You're free to grow and evolve without the pressure of public scrutiny or the influence of outside opinions. When you don't share everything with everyone, you also give yourself the opportunity to define your own narrative. You control the story that others see rather than letting them fill in the blanks with assumptions or misinterpretations. This autonomy enables you to live with greater confidence as you no longer feel the need to seek validation or approval from those around you. You begin to trust your own judgment and to make decisions based on your values and vision rather than on the expectations or desires of others. Choosing to keep certain things private allows you to focus on what truly matters to you. Instead of constantly explaining yourself or seeking validation, you can put your energy into the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and growth. You no longer waste time justifying your choices or defending your dreams. You can pursue your goals in peace, knowing that the right people will support you and the right opportunities will present themselves without the need for constant external validation. Oversharing can cause more harm than good, leading to confusion, judgment, and emotional exhaustion. By recognizing the importance of privacy and the power of keeping certain things to yourself, you create the space for healthier relationships, personal growth, and a clearer sense of direction. The less you share with others, the more you empower yourself to stay true to your own path and protect your peace. You are in control of your narrative, and by being selective about what you reveal, you maintain your personal power and integrity. Timing is everything. In a world that often values instant results, we sometimes forget that there is power in patience and the art of waiting for the right moment. Recognizing when to speak, act, or reveal your plans is crucial for personal success. The key to effective timing is knowing that not every opportunity, conversation, or goal needs to be pursued immediately. In fact, many of the most successful people in life understand that there are times to hold back, to remain silent, and to wait for the right moment to make their move. The right timing ensures that your words and actions have the greatest impact. If you speak too soon without understanding the context or the people involved, your message might fall on deaf ears or even cause confusion. Similarly, if you act prematurely without considering the timing of your decisions, you may end up facing obstacles that could have been avoided with a little more patience. Good timing is about being aware of the bigger picture, understanding the environment, and knowing when the conditions are right for you to take action. It's about being strategic, not rushing into things simply because you feel the pressure to do so. Knowing when to reveal your plans or ideas is another aspect of mastering timing. While enthusiasm and passion are important, revealing too much too soon can lead to unnecessary complications. There are times when it's wise to keep your ideas to yourself, allowing them to develop fully before sharing them with others. When you reveal your plans too early, you expose yourself to premature judgment, criticism, or interference. People may have opinions or suggestions that could either discourage you or distract you from your vision. By waiting for the right moment to present your ideas, you allow them to mature and become stronger, ensuring that when you do share them, they have the greatest chance of success. Timing also plays a critical role in relationships. Whether it's in personal relationships or in professional settings, understanding when to speak up and when to listen is essential. There are moments when offering advice, giving feedback, or sharing your thoughts can be incredibly valuable, but it's important to gauge the right time. If someone isn't ready to hear what you have to say, no matter how valuable your words might be, they may not be receptive. On the other hand, when the timing is right, your words can have a profound impact and create positive change. This is why emotional intelligence and intuition are so valuable. They help you read the situation and determine the best time to act or speak. In your professional life, timing is also key to achieving success. Timing can determine whether an idea is embraced or rejected, whether a project is successful or stalls. The right timing can make a significant difference in how opportunities present themselves. By understanding the right moment to pitch an idea, make a move in your career, or even take a risk, you set yourself up for greater chances of success. However, timing is not about luck, it's about preparation, awareness, and being ready when the right opportunity arises. In addition to knowing when to act, timing also teaches us the importance of patience in the face of uncertainty. It's easy to become frustrated when things aren't happening as quickly as we would like, but recognizing that everything has its own time can help alleviate that frustration. Growth takes time, and the journey to success is rarely a straight path. There will be periods of waiting, of working in the background, of quietly preparing for the right moment to make a move. Embracing this process is crucial. Trusting that the right timing will come allows you to stay focused, work diligently, and remain resilient, even when immediate results aren't visible. Mastering timing also requires the ability to be flexible and adaptable. Sometimes the best opportunities arise when you least expect them, and being able to adjust your plans to suit the situation can lead to extraordinary outcomes. You may have a clear vision of what you want and when you want it, but life often has its own plans. When you are flexible and open to adjusting your timing, you allow for greater creativity and innovation. You allow yourself to respond to changing circumstances and take advantage of opportunities that you might not have seen if you were too rigid in your approach. Understanding the value of timing also means recognizing that not every moment is the right time for everything. Just because something feels urgent or important doesn't mean it should be pursued immediately. It's important to take a step back, evaluate the situation, and consider the long-term consequences of your actions. Some opportunities are worth waiting for, and some moments require you to hold off on making a decision. In the same way, you might realize that some things need to be let go of, or that certain relationships or projects have run their course. Timing helps you see when it's time to move forward and when it's time to let go. Timing is about having the wisdom to know when to act and when to wait. It's about being patient, strategic, and mindful of the bigger picture. Good timing allows you to act with intention, ensuring that your efforts are aligned with the right opportunities and the right moments. It's a skill that can be developed over time by staying aware of your surroundings, trusting your instincts, and recognizing the right conditions for success. The more you master the art of timing, the more likely you are to create favorable outcomes in every area of your life, whether in your personal relationships, career, or personal growth. The idea of maintaining personal control over your narrative is one of the most empowering practices you can adopt in your life. By controlling your own story, you ensure that you remain the one in charge of your destiny and that the decisions you make are driven by your own vision, not the influence of others. Your life is yours to live, and taking control of your narrative means shaping your experiences, goals, and outcomes according to your values, not allowing others to define you or steer your life in a direction you didn't choose. It's about understanding that you are the author of your story and you hold the pen to decide how your life unfolds. The first step in taking control of your narrative is self-awareness. When you understand who you are, your values, strengths, weaknesses, desires, and purpose, you are better equipped to make decisions that align with your true self. It's easy to be influenced by external forces, society, peers, family, or even the media, but when you know yourself and have a clear understanding of what you stand for, you become less susceptible to the opinions and expectations of others. You learn to prioritize your own voice over the noise of the outside world, which helps you make decisions that are authentic and fulfilling. Taking control of your narrative also means choosing the path you will take in life, regardless of what others may think or say. Many people allow others to dictate their choices, from their career to their relationships, simply because they are afraid of judgment or criticism. But when you take ownership of your story, you make decisions based on what is right for you, not what will please others or meet external expectations. This allows you to live a life that is meaningful and true to your own desires, rather than living for the approval or acceptance of others. Controlling your narrative involves setting your own boundaries. The more you allow others to dictate your actions, the more you lose control of your own life. Setting boundaries is essential for protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. By defining what is acceptable and what is not, you create a safe space where you can thrive and remain focused on your goals. Boundaries help you avoid being pulled in too many different directions or allowing others to drain your energy. They give you the freedom to prioritize your needs and protect the integrity of your vision. In the process of taking control of your narrative, you also have the power to decide which relationships you engage in and how much of yourself you share with others. Not every person in your life deserves the right to know your deepest thoughts and feelings. By choosing carefully who you open up to, you protect your emotional space and ensure that you are surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care for you and support your growth. You are not obligated to share everything with everyone, and learning when to speak and when to remain silent is an important skill in maintaining control of your story. The people you allow into your life should be those who encourage your progress, not those who seek to manipulate, control, or undermine you. Another important aspect of controlling your narrative is reframing challenges and setbacks. Life is filled with obstacles and difficulties, but how you perceive and respond to these challenges is entirely up to you. When you take control of your narrative, you choose to view obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than as insurmountable barriers. It's about shifting your mindset from one of victimhood and of empowerment. Instead of allowing setbacks to define you or hold you back, you can use them as stepping stones toward greater success. This mindset allows you to maintain your sense of agency and to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles may arise. Taking control of your narrative also means not allowing others to define your worth. Too often, people allow others' opinions to shape how they see themselves. Whether it's criticism, comparison, or judgment, these outside influences can distort your self-image and erode your confidence. But when you take ownership of your narrative, you define your own worth based on your values, accomplishments, and self-respect. You stop seeking validation from others and start validating yourself. You become your own biggest supporter, acknowledging your growth and achievements without waiting for approval from anyone else. Moreover, controlling your narrative involves embracing your story, both the triumphs and the struggles. Everyone has a story to tell, and each experience, whether good or bad, contributes to the person you are becoming. By owning your narrative, you take pride in your journey, recognizing that even the difficult times have helped shape your character and resilience. You don't shy away from your past. Instead, you use it as fuel for your growth. This acceptance of your story allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that every chapter has prepared you for the next step in your life. One of the most significant ways to control your narrative is by being intentional with your actions and words. Every decision you make and every conversation you have adds to your story. When you live with intention, you make choices that align with your long-term vision and your core values. You don't let the whims of the moment or the opinions of others dictate your actions. Instead, you stay focused on what truly matters to you, ensuring that every step you take is in alignment with the person you want to become. Controlling your narrative means embracing the power of choice. Every day you are faced with decisions, big and small, that contribute to the direction of your life. You have the power to choose how you respond to situations, how you treat others, and how you pursue your goals. The power of choice is what gives you control over your narrative. It's the ability to steer your life in the direction that feels right for you, even when circumstances seem out of your control. When you recognize that you are the one who holds the power to choose, you step into a position of strength and autonomy. Taking control of your narrative is about owning your story, your choices, your challenges, your growth, and your achievements. It's about staying true to yourself, setting boundaries, and making decisions based on your values. When you take full ownership of your narrative, you create a life that is authentic, purposeful, and aligned with your deepest desires. You are the author of your own life, and by taking control of your story, you ensure that you continue to write a narrative that is uniquely your own.